Good afternoon, YouTube. We're back under the Lb7, checking out this leak a little bit closer. I read online a bunch of forums on, well, as many as there were, which aren't that many, on transfer case slash transmissions leaking where they join up. So they said try replacing the gasket before assuming anything really. So that's what we're going to do. And to be honest, I was pushing up on the back side of the transfer case here because you got that tapping noise when you tap on the U-joint with not a whole lot of force. You can hear it. There's plenty of slop in this bastard, and I don't know that it's supposed to have that. So I'm thinking maybe that growling noise I was hearing is this rear tail shaft bearing. Sorry I can't zoom out a whole lot further. The flash doesn't want to work on that back with the furthest out sitting. But I think I replaced this seal once, and it's already leaking again. So that's fantastic. But as I was pushing up on the back of the transfer case, this wetness around the gasket here, it was like almost as if a bubble got pushed out. You can just see the moisture get sucked in and out as I pushed on it, and I don't know if you can see it. I'm barely pushing up, and you can see some of the moisture disappearing as I push up and down. Can you see that towards the top of the camera there where the gasket meets up on the transfer case? Let that fluctuate as I push. Push, 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 push. So, it may just be loose enough for it to leak, which would be odd, but it is what it is. Just checking U-joints at the same time. This one's still tight, so I gotta check the back one, which I did already. There you go. I did that one already. I had to do that out in Michigan. Just towing a trailer one day, and all of a sudden I started hearing humming and vibrating, and I'm like, this is odd. And I get home, and sure enough, freaking a U-joint was pretty damn bad, and I was like, how the hell did I miss that? Like, how did it not make any noise, really, or feel any... Well, to be honest, I couldn't hardly tell about the vibration. There was some extra vibration, we'll put it that way, because I was running my Toyo mud tires and they were far from perfectly balanced, so that's why, a little extra balance on it, and towing a trailer I could really tell. So but that got replaced. That was my first U-joint ever, so that was fun. And fun fact, this I can show you. Fun fact, the LBZ is rocking original U-joints at 200 and probably pretty close to 95,000 miles. So almost 300,000 miles, and it's still rocking original U-joints. Aluminum drive shaft. Tell me that's not pretty freaking decent. That truck was built right. That has never had any major common failure points that these trucks are known for, or weak points, I should say, not failure, but weak points. Ball joints at 240,000, along with CV axles and maybe tie rods. Got a Pitman arm, I know that much. So, yeah, I got some fleece trans lines in here. I need to get some for the LBZ and get an Lb7 max flow trans cooler so it sits up in the front of the cooling stack. Because today, driving down the freeway, today was extremely hot out, I guess. For Minnesota, it's 94 to 95, 96 degrees. And, my transmission temp got up to 201 degrees just cruising down the freeway. Empty bed. I'm like, that's awesome. I was doing 80, 85. I was doing 80 for 6-7 miles by the time it hit 201 degrees, so it shouldn't do that whatsoever. But the dumbass GM engineers put that trans cooler behind the bumper, where it's out of the way of the airflow on the bumper, and out of the way of the airflow in the grill, so it just gets like no air. The only thing cooling it really was the radiator, because I would come to a stop and the coolant temp would drop to about 188 degrees, and then the transmission temp would start lowering down to about 195-ish. And then you take off, and of course it'd go back up. So I don't know, that's pretty dick to me, but that's wonderful. Engineers for you. I'm learning more and more about engineers being about the stupidest people on the planet. I don't understand how they design stuff in such ways that it's just like, do you even have a brain cell in your head? Because none of what you're doing makes any sense. And it's not just on vehicles, it's on other things. I was taking apart air conditioning, old air conditioning equipment or cooling units for old PCs, and my goodness, it's like they cram this thing in here and it can only come out one direction because the fittings that are on the thing I was taking out. And oh Lord, it was just a battle, and I was just having a fit because they're just, I know there's probably going to be some engineers watching. I'm not an idiot. Well, you don't know the whole story. Well, let me tell you what. You design the whole story, and then I'll figure out the whole story from there. But you design one aspect or you design the whole thing and then forget about one thing, and you got to cram it in there relentlessly. So the next person comes along, I ain't got to work on it, and then fuck, this just garbage. What the hell are these engineers thinking? Why? That kind of shit. That just bugs me. So, but yeah, and that's where the Duramax has started getting more complicated too. Where the fan shroud around the LBZ, I don't know, it's not the fan shroud, but it's part of the fan shroud. It goes behind the fan, and it's like a grate or something. I don't know, support for the fan shroud. Oh Lord, does that ever make it the most complicated belt change that you have to do? You got to take out the air box. You got to take out, the air box, and the bracket probably too as well, in order to get at the stinking belt tensioner. You freaking idiots. If you didn't put that in the way, I would have been able to get at the belt tensioner straight down behind the fan, and all would have been hunky-dory. But no, y'all idiots put that behind there, and for what? So then engineers did the two-piece mouthpiece, and I could go on and on about how engineers are pretty fucking retarded, but I think we could all assume that. So man, a freaking third grader with a crayon can design things better than engineers. So but back to this, I guess. I get this swapped out. I'm gonna let everything cool overnight because I took it to town, had I thought, really. I just wanted to get this truck out and about, see how cool the AC would do on a day like today, and it did better. I just got the... Ow, freaking cramping up. Oh, I just got the AC serviced on the LBZ. Like I said, I've never had that system reclaimed or anything like that. Well, it got reclaimed today, and it got recharged, and he said it was 1 pound over on the Freon. 1 pound, which is 32 ounces. That's more than one of those AC cans. Well, the gauge on the AC thing said it was perfect. Right where it was at. But yet I was getting just absolute garbage air conditioning. And now I'm getting better. The laser will get down to about 42 degrees, 38 degrees, depending. But it's still not perfect. The Lb7 gets better cooling than that one. But that one I think cools down faster to a certain temperature. But the Lb7 takes longer to cool down, but it gets colder. So, I don't know. I'm so tired of these old freaking AC systems. What a pain in the ass. I think at some point both trucks will get new air compressors and new condensers, and this one a new dryer. And they should be rocking just the coldest, nipple cutting glass, freaking colder than a witch's titty AC you've ever felt. Otherwise, I might just pitch both trucks and be done with it. I'm tired of fucking around with problems, man. I'm just getting real tired of it. This truck's freaking awesome. It's got a shit ton of torque and throttle response and just power out the ass. But let me tell you, it just gets so old fixing them and dumping money into them left and right. I mean, I got to do injectors on the LBZ yet. I mean, that's $2,800, and that I know that should fix my performance problem to an extent. I did pretty much a full throttle today in the LBZ, and it defueled on me. Why is it defueling? The thing's got a race plug in it, so I know it wasn't fuel pressure dropping off. I tell you, it just pisses me off. I want to kick somebody's ass who really deserves it because they really don't know how to drive, and I just want to show my frustration, smoke them out. And it goes from 18,000 to 11,000, and then shifts gears, and then 24,000. The trans tuning is cutting the fucking fuel out, or something like that. It just pisses me off. Quit doing that. Just give me full frickin' chooch all the time, man. So, God, I hate that so much. This truck doesn't give me that problem. It just kicks ass all day. I have had it defuel on me once, but I think I was doing about 90-some miles an hour after pretty much full throttle passing like 3 or 4 cars in a row on a country road. And, yeah, I hit about 90, 95 miles an hour, and it started cutting out. But I was pretty damn close to redline at the same time, so I don't know. I mean, I beat the shit out of this truck, and it just takes it. I love it, but like I said, I'm getting real tired of fixing stuff because it gets really expensive really quickly. Sorry for the shitty video, but I'm trying to crawl out of here. I'm not on a creeper, so my rockers are starting to show some disgustingness. You aren't seeing what I'm seeing. There you are. That's just lovely. That's after 2 or 3 winters. So, paint's coming off. So, it might just be time to pitch her before she really lets loose on me. I'm getting some crusties. Big time. I don't like the crusties. This was my rust-free truck. Oh, but like I said, it got brought to Michigan from Texas, and then it just freaking went 2 or 3 winters at that in Michigan. So, oh man, my back, it hurts after that. Oh. But I tell you, it's been my comfy cruiser. It's got a lot of suspension travel, floats like a Cadillac in that aspect of the suspension travel. But I tell you, that one rides so much smoother. It just, the bumps don't jostle you around like they do in this one. Yeah, it's got 20s on it, but I don't know, there's just something. And now it looks a whole lot better with the 06 front end. Get the brush guard put back on. And, you know, pretty freaking decent. But, yeah, I'm taking care of it the best I can. I mean, I've got 3 vehicles now. My Honda, both Duramaxes. I mean, they're both money grubblers, you know. They're all money grubblers. You know, trying to bring the Honda back from neglect and everything in miles. So, trying to get that in tip-top shape. And the AC freaking blew up in that one, so that's fantastic. But at least we got AC in both trucks. They cool you down enough. This one, by the time you get where you're going, you got to turn the AC down because you're getting a little chilled. This one, you got to leave it on full blast all the time, otherwise you don't get cooled. So that's the difference, I guess. And you know, the Honda, you'll just sweat to death the entire way at this point. So just sucks. But that stinking gauge lied to me big time. If that one was a pound overcharge, I'm glad it didn't blow the compressor up, I guess. I mean, a new compressor would have been nice. Probably would have ordered the condenser at the same time. Been done with it all, but it blew the compressor up in the Honda, which is unfortunate. So, new compressor in that one. It's got a new dryer, new condenser, and it's got a valve in the frickin' heater box. I should replace that, and I need to replace the evaporator core because the AC and an AC line, because the AC line from the pump to the evaporator core, I freaking cross-threaded it, and that's how she's sitting now. And oh, let me tell you, it's tighter than tight. And getting that off, sawzall is how that's coming off. And yeah, so good lord, money. You know. If it was just both trucks, I mean, I've sunk over $2,300 into the Honda. Over $2,300 into the Honda. So that could have been $2,300 that could have bought most of the new injectors, or pretty close to 20 or what, 1,800 bucks or 1,500 bucks for a new transfer case, or you know. So 3 vehicles are really just sucking up the frickin', well, the gas too, but the funds. Holy shit, does it get expensive quick. Oh Lord. Oh, you want to see my ghetto fix? I had to do this today. When I was talking about the smoke coming up from there because the water got down in the heater box, because the thing, if you haven't watched that video, go watch it. It's a little informative. I just gave you a quick overview, but yeah. So my ghetto fix, I had to rip that cover down because there was smoke coming. Whoops, sorry. Coming from the blower motor resistor. I only have speed 5. It burnt out the other 4 on that day. So now, I mean, it busted the tabs off instead of just ripping the plastic or the screws out of the plastic on the cover, which is what I was hoping would happen. But no, it ripped big ass holes in the freaking heater box, and I just got done installing less than 6 months ago. So here's my patch job. I tried using, right here in the door pocket, plastic epoxy, 15 minutes. But apparently this is that jackass plastic that does not work with epoxy. Great. So we're using 30-minute water resistant frickin' window sealant for caulk or whatever. And I don't have to sit here and babysit it either. The caulk is sticky and gooey. It just holds it in place. Frickin' decent. So that crap, I sat here for over 15 minutes holding it, and it still let loose. Fucking garbage. God, I tell you. So that's my redneck fix. And I don't know how I'm going to get the heater shroud thingy back on, but because I'd really like it on. But hasn't rained since I did that frickin' cover underneath the cowl, so I can't give you an update on whether that's sealed or not. But I mean, we're dry around here. I mean, the frickin' yard's gone yellow pretty much, and where it gets straight sunlight, so garbagey. No, we need the rain now. I don't want like 6 months worth of rain, but I want, you know, enough rain to keep the grass green. That'd be great. So I'm gonna go do a little bit of weed whacking. I think got company coming tomorrow. So one of these days this truck will get washed. Trust me. And I sprayed that and the Honda off, so they're cleaner. But as you can see, this one hasn't gotten washed because of the front bumper. They started waiting like 90 days. Well, that's 3 freaking months of not washing the truck just for the damn bumper. So she's bound to get washed here pretty soon because I got that done in April 14th, I think. So we're getting pretty close to 3 months. But yeah. So hope you guys enjoyed. 20-minute video all of a sudden, but quick informative update on repairs coming and done and whatever. And don't worry, I'm not sweating to death now. At least I got a vehicle with AC that's not boogered. Hopefully this one isn't boogered either. I just need to get that seal done, and at some point a transfer case. Hopefully that don't grenade on me. That'd be great. So alrighty guys, thanks for watching. God bless.